Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards, making my grand entrance this morning. Across from me is the one, the only Mr. SHAUN YURTKURAN. Good morning, Mr. YURTKURAN.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, crap.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Great, man. Great.
Coming in on two wheels?
Yeah, I was running a little late. You know, it's so funny. I never know when to exactly, even after almost 2 years, I've never known exactly to hit it. Sometimes I can leave my house at 6:35 and be here on time, and sometimes I'm going to be late. So
yeah,
you never know. I guess the traffic on there depends. On Medgar Evers is really my pain. You know, you never know when the road is going to be in decent condition.
Never.
Never. I mean, sometimes they've been doing some road work over there, so lately, but yeah, it's usually an S show. So
yeah. All right, well, welcome in, SHAUN. It is a Wednesday here on the show. We're going to take a deep dive today into the polo trial started. There's not a whole lot to dive into there yet, but we'll have some fun with it. The big story, of course, still is Luigi, whatever his last name, Mangione. Luigi.
I'm going to call him Mangione.
Mangione and Daniel Penny. The left is praising Luigi, and the right is praising let me get that right. The left is praising Luigi, the CEO killer, and and Penny is being praised by the right. What are we calling them? Vigilante justice heroes. And ironically, people on the right think that the guy on the left is wrong, and people on the left think the guy on the right is wrong, or at least each of our idols, so to say. So, what's that noise?
I have no idea.
Why do I have an echo?
I don't know. I've got all my stuff turned down.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. For some reason, I can hear myself.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Have you got your computer turned down?
Yeah, it's off.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. Anyway, so you got the Clay Edwards Show with SHAUN YURTKURAN here on a Wednesday. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. The Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. And we are off to the races. Let me get logged into everything. Guys, I know I say it every morning, but this computer moves just slow enough, and with Mr. Bishop getting his stuff unhooked and kind of up out of the way, it leaves me about 3 minutes legitimately to get set down, logged in, reset, the whole 9 yards. So, unfortunately, that does bleed into our first segment here.
There's not a production team?
No. No, there's not a production team. And some of the other guys that do their shows here, they don't use this computer. They use their own computer, so it takes a minute to kind of get up and move. And that's not me picking on anybody there or whatever. I used to use mine, too, before I finally figured out this computer does everything I need to do, and there was no reason to need to bring another computer. So you can log into different websites and files, and everything's there.
Yeah.
So there's no point in doing it.
Lugging all that stuff around, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I can use Evernote for my notes, and boom, log in to Evernote here. There's no point in bringing the computer. But again, that's to each their own. Everybody's got their own, everybody's comfortable with their own thing. So, dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. I'm guessing the internet's not any faster with the computers they bring.
Yeah, probably not, right? Unless they're using the Wi-Fi. I mean, does that use the Wi-Fi or is that plugged in the Ethernet?
It's Ethernet.
Ethernet, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess the Wi-Fi's no faster than
the
Ethernet.
No, it wouldn't be, obviously not.
All right, so I waited on talking about this yesterday because I wanted to have SHAUN here to talk about it because we've been main veining this since it happened. I've been very, very tuned into it. So, CEO killer, United Health CEO killer, Luigi Mangione, was arrested at a Pennsylvania McDonald's. There's a strange photo of him, too, floating around inside that McDonald's, maybe like in the bathroom or something, or in the back. Or maybe he was in a corner, but that's not what it looks like to me. Like, who took that photo?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the photo of him inside the McDonald's?
No, I've not.
Google
Let me Google it real quick, yeah.
You need to have an idea what I'm talking about here. And because it's not a selfie, but it seems like a photo taken in a bathroom, and it's not a security photo either. It's two at eye level. It would have had to been sitting like eye level from you if you were sitting
Is that
on
when
the
he's got a
toilet.
cup or something in his hand?
Possibly.
Is that what I'm seeing? Something in the New York Post. That's
Kind of curled up in a corner.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a bathroom.
Is that your iPad? Mm-hmm. Can you flip it around? Let me see. That's it.
Okay.
Does that look like a bathroom to you? That could be the corner of a booth.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, no, I think it's a corner. He's got a hash brown in his hand.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not going to. I doubt he's eating in the bathroom, but who knows?
Someone took that photo. Mm-hmm. But it looks like he allowed it to happen because I don't know how he would have stopped it.
How did they recognize him? Just looking at that photo, I would have.
What jacket is he wearing?
Looks like a darker jacket than the one he had on in the during the assassination.
Interesting.
It looks like, and his eyebrows are kind of covered up. That's kind of what was most noticeable about him.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people believe he's not the guy. He's a patsy.
Huh.
So a lot of internet sleuths are trying to piece this thing together. So he was arrested at a Pennsylvania McDonald's. As he's
and he's got a mask on him. When they got a couple other. Have you seen the other photos?
Yeah. So
like this one, I'll show you this one.
Why is this guy continue to allowed to wear a mask?
I don't know. That you see me
in the back of the cop car, he had on a face mask. Like, why are they allowing this guy to continue to wear a face diaper?
Well, even if he was allowed to or not, wouldn't he have thought, okay, I'm all over the country with this face mask on. Why don't I take it off when nobody knows what my face looks like, and then I won't be so obvious because they know what my eyebrows look like. It seems like if he didn't have the mask, he'd be better off at that point once he escaped the city. Yeah. Once he got it out of New York.
Yeah, like wearing the face mask kind of becomes part of the costume.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, like that's how you could kind of recognize the guy. It seems like he would have ditched that and like got rid of the hoodie or whatever, anything like. I mean, it looks like he changed the jacket looks different, but heck, if I was him, I'd have worn shorts and a t-shirt and just tuffed it, just so I look completely different from what that guy looked like. Cause I don't know how cold it was in Pennsylvania right now, but it probably was pretty cold. But
yeah, so
I'm judging things based on down here.
So we got a little video here. This is him being arrested. You're going to have to bear with me 1 second. I got to get it queued up so our online listeners can hear it too. So give me like 10 seconds here as I do this. We've got some video of him shouting to the press as he's being taken out, not arrested. He'd already been arrested at this point, but taken out of the cop car. And he gets very aggressive. And something that somebody brought to my attention, well, they didn't actually say, Clay, you need to see this. It was another podcast or whatnot that I was listening to this morning. They made a point that we're going to get into this today, his history of severe back problems.
Yeah.
And with this video, they made a point of this guy, this does not look like the actions or the body movements. Are you able to see what I've got on my screen? Are you what you're able to do over there? Do you have the restream stuff pulled up?
Yeah, I've got it. Hold on a second. I think I shut it down. Give me a second because I thought maybe that might be causing the audio issue.
It did go away.
It did. And I've got the iPad turned on. I don't know why it would have, but
yeah. I just want you to be able to see what I'm talking about here because I don't want your content.
Okay.
You need to be involved, included in the content.
Gotcha. All right. Let me look.
Tell me when you're ready. Yeah, guys. Guns and Gear text line 769-241-1944. Mazda Jackson phone line 601-879-0002. I want to tell you real quick while Sean's getting that. The Clay Edwards Show Christmas party. All the details are locked in for the most part. It's going to be Monday, Christmas Eve, December 23rd, Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, downtown Jackson. That is what's causing the echo, too, by the way. I don't know
why. Why? And it's turned down. That's it.
So, with that said, Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, downtown Brandon, December 23rd, 6 p.m. to close. Third annual Clay Edwards Show Christmas party. No cover charge. And the Stevens brothers. I mean, you've seen these guys around town. They were in our Cordless Corner competition. They won season 1. They're phenomenal. I mean, they're country, but they're Southern rock too. They bring it, son. They're going to be that little band like 3 doors down. A lot of us got to say we saw them play at a little bar, whatever bar it was somewhere in Mississippi. It was Hallamals. It was the Joint or Mothers here at one point. You're going to be able to sit there and say, when you're on your way to see them play at a stadium, open them for Morgan Wallen or headlining an arena themselves or the Brandon Amphitheater, you're going to be able to say, man, I remember a couple of years ago when I saw those guys play at that radio guys' Christmas party at Burgers, Blues, Barbecue in downtown Brandon. And I'm not saying that to be, Sean, that's not hyperbole.
It's not hyperbole.
That's not hyperbole.
Now I'm confused at how to say it too because we've talked about it so many times. I have no idea how to say it anymore.
It's not hyperbole. But anyway, y'all circle the date, December 23rd, 6 p.m., downtown Brandon, Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. Going to be a great old time. If you bring a jacket, you bring some jeans, you bring something to help keep homeless people warm, and you donate it, you're going to get a free beer courtesy of Southern Beverage. We got some Bud Light, some Mick Ultra they brought out. It's just a way to say thank you and maybe motivate you a little bit to help clean out your closet. All right, let's play this. You're going to have to listen pretty good. This is Luigi Mangione being, I guess, he'd already been arrested. I'm not quite sure what this is. Maybe it's his initial court appearance. I guess that's what this is. But he's being gotten out of the back of a cop car, and he's going to scream some stuff at the press.
Down.
Oh my God! That's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
He says it's an insult to the intelligence of the people of the United States, and he said, and their lived experiences. Now, I'm going to play this one more time because I think that's important, because lived experience is definitely left-wing language.
Oh my God! That's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
What did you just say?
He said, and lived experiences. I listened to somebody else that slowed it down pretty good. And he says, insult to the citizens of the United States of America, or the United States, and their lived experiences.
Regarding what was he saying?
That I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. So it felt like possibly, if you had to ask me, we're going to get into this, right? Allegedly they planted some money on him. So maybe he thinks that him being...
You want me to shut mine down? It's causing an echo.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah. So I know it's just those little things that'll just throw you off just a little bit, like your thought process. But I can deal with bullets flying at me, but man, you put a little echo in the
Yeah, I
background.
know. It's I mean, I don't know why it's doing, especially when the
think
sound's
straight.
off, too. I don't know why it's connecting to that. That's really weird.
Yeah. So it's something to do with my restream, too, I bet. But anyway, but I think that has something to do with he's gonna try to play some kind of defense. We're gonna get way into this, but what I wanted to point out, why I wanted you to watch that video, is you saw how herky jerky he was and being kind of manhandled and him kind of resisting and stuff. Does that look like a guy with back problems, Sean?
No, I mean, there's a lot of things that indicate to me that, I mean, apparently he had some surgeries. I think that's noted, right? That he had some surgeries. I was wondering how he rode that city bike if he had such back problems. It seems like that would be an issue to me.
Yeah.
If he had, how are you, it's not easy to ride a bike when you've got back problems, the way you're hunched over like that. I mean, that would hurt.
Yeah, and the back problems were several years ago. The surgeries, obviously prior to the concocting this plan to assassinate the CEO. So I don't think the back problems are a lie.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But,
it seems like,
but how bad were they? I don't know. It's all a big puzzle here.
Because, I mean, a lot of friends, this article you sent me, the one in the Daily Beast about.
Well, hold on any details. Let's we'll unpack them when we come back from the break here.
Okay.
This is the Clay Edwards Show with SHAUN YURTKURAN. We got a big show this morning. Hit the share button if you're watching on the video. If you're listening on the radio, call a friend. Send a carrier pigeon. Tell them to put it on 103.9 FM WYAB, or send them the link from WYAB.com. We're about to get some really cool. We're about to dig into it in a way that nobody else around here can. We got a prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. We're going to unpack this thing from every different angle. This is the Clay Edwards Show, again, with attorney at law, SHAUN YURTKURAN. We'll be right back on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here with SHAUN the Turk YURTKURAN, here live on WYAB. Let me hit the stop sharing button there so we can get the screen back right. All right, there we go. Anyway, we got Sean here. We got myself. Guys, tomorrow night, good times, dope rhymes. It is the first annual celebrity roast of Jackson mayoral candidate, the one, the only radio strongman, Kim Wade. That's right, the icon, the living legend himself, Kim Wade, running for mayor of Jackson, throwing him a little fundraiser out there to get the ball rolling. Going to be a big celebrity roast. Some of the roasters are. But we use the word celebrity around here very loosely, don't we? Ah, dang it. I apologize.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, so those include myself, which I have put forth zero effort into getting this done. So today's going to be a crash course in writing a celebrity roasting script. Mr. SHAUN YURTKURAN sitting across from me this morning is also one of the celebrity roasters. And look, I anticipate Sean stealing the show. I'm going to.
No, do not do this. Say that, man. I'm actually kind of nervous about this. I'll be honest to everybody because I'm good at being witty on Facebook, but now I'm like, you got to be funny. I'm like, oh God, I'm kind of worried about it.
So you've got the head minority set aside, Socrates Garrett. Which
now you've got to make a joke about that.
I am.
Please, God.
I am. You've got the number one set aside.
Yeah.
It's going to turn into more of a cross examination than a roasting. I got lots of questions. Does Chokwe know he's left Jackson? Do the feds know he's left Jackson? We got David Archie, that low-hanging fruit there.
Oh, is he? I didn't even see it on the flyer.
Top line. You got David Archie. You got Kim's producer and our good friend Mr. Cliff Bowen. Of course, you have myself. You have the one and only Kingfish. Now, here's my thing with Kingfish. If I roast Kingfish, am I going to get talked bad about on his website? I hope so.
Yeah.
All publicity is good publicity. So you got Kingfish there. Kingfish doesn't pull any punches.
Do we get to roast him too?
My understanding the way roast works, you get to they roast the roasters.
That's what I thought.
I mean, that's the rules I'm playing by. I don't know who Ann Pruitt is. Mm-hmm. Then you have Malcolm Johnson. Oh no, Malcolm. I like Malcolm now, but I ain't forgot about times Malcolm told everybody I was a racist. So payback's hell.
He said some things about me on the radio. He probably doesn't even know who I am, but back during that whole, I've told you about him and Kenny Stokes were called us slave masters, and yeah, and I was like, there's a couple jokes that know about him.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know his last name was Johnson.
It sounds more like
it's a mix something.
Mix something.
Yeah. So you got Matt Bishop, our 6 to 7 a.m. host here. I know Matt. I don't know Matt well enough to know anything to pick at him about, but he drives a couple cool cars. Maybe we'll make some car jokes. I'm not sure who Jerry Ricardo is. Your MCs for the night is Cliff Bowen and Beth Hennington. I do not know Beth off the top of my head. Anyway, I apologize, Beth, if you're listening. Good look. It's going to be fun. Tickets are $25. It's right out there on the 047 side of the reservoir, right down from Fannin Mart at a place called The Village. It's 1054 Lake Village Circle. Doors open at 6:30. It's casual attire. I assume there's going to be food and drinks available of some sort. I'm going to confirm all that today, but you can buy your tickets now. VoteKimWade.com, and I presume you can just buy them at the door or pay at the door to get in. Hope to see y'all there. It's going to be a good time if nothing else. Come out, hang out. People have asked Sean. They've asked. They said, "Why is the guy running for Mayor Jackson doing an event in Rankin County?" Because fundraisers work all kind of different ways.
Yeah.
We keep telling y'all that it's important for Jackson. We all need Jackson to survive. There's a lot of people who have a vested interest in Jackson being a city that can handle its own business. Like my vested interest is I would like for Jackson to be nice and vibrant enough for the thugs and trash to continue to rob and pillage Jackson.
But see, by you saying
and not
that,
have to come across the river.
You're stealing some of my jokes for tomorrow night already.
Well, I'm
talking about the venue being in Rankin County. I've got some references to that in my skit there.
Me too.
I bet you do. I was like, Kim, you picked the one place where there's no black people. It's shocking. I can't believe that.
Pick the one place where we ain't gonna get shot.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't have done it if it was in Jackson. Outside of about 2 or 3 places.
Which we call it. You got the Rankin County vote all locked up, man. So,
but look, there's fun. There's fundraisers. Sheriff
Jones,
not Madison County Sheriff.
Didn't Tyree have a fundraiser?
What's Madison County Sheriff?
Tucker.
Thank you. Brain fart this morning. Sorry, Randy. Sheriff Tucker did Tyree a fundraiser out in Madison.
Yeah, you can have fundraisers either. I mean, but we're going to make jokes at his expense anyway.
Yeah, right. Well, this ain't a joke. I'm talking about the idiots online who don't understand how fundraising works. Right. So, there's fundraisers all over the place. People in Rankin County need a safe Jackson because, unfortunately, that's where the hospitals are, and that's where people got to come work. And, we want to try to – look, Rankin County's got something to say about who the mayor of Jackson's going to be. Y'all might not like that, But I'm going to tell you, Rankin and Madison County, we got something to say about who the mayor of Jackson's going to be. And I'll tell you who it ain't going to be. It ain't going to be Chokwe Lumumba.
God, hope so, man. I keep thinking about that over and over again. Like, because that trial's not going to happen until later this year, or next year, 2025, and the election's in May. I think it could happen, unfortunately. Like, that scares, it really does scare me, the thought of that. Like, what a bad look that would be for the city. I mean, if it could get more of a bad look than it already has.
Well, I mean, there's a part of me, if Kim don't win, that's what I'm pulling for.
What, Chokwe win?
Yeah, because I want Jackson to experience the utmost embarrassment. And just as the cherry on top of the cake, on the shake. You know what I mean? Like, y'all voted for a guy that you knew was a piece of feces, that you knew this ain't no Donald Trump type situation. They do not. There's no parallels to Donald Trump here. Chokwe did this allegedly. It's on video.
Yeah,
and so I think the most embarrassing thing is for them to have their golden boy, their little golden doodle, step down, perp-walked, arrested, and fired in a federal courtroom the minute he's found guilty.
I just thought of this. Even if you wanted to compare it to Trump, I don't think it's like Trump at all. I agree with you. But even if you did, somebody that said made that comparison and said, okay, it's like Trump, right? Well, at least you could argue with Trump that he did a good job. Like with Chokwe, you can't even do that. I mean, you can't be like, well, Chokwe did such a good job, we just kind of let it slide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like, he doesn't even have that. So.
No, exactly. It's like, we want 4 more years of the death and destruction of Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the part that kills me. I was somebody that I know was sitting behind Chokwe on a plane the other day, and there was another black dude sitting beside him, or within talking distance of him, that was just starstruck and kept telling the brother, "We appreciate what you're doing for us, brother. You just keep fighting, brother." And Chokwe said, "Yeah, man, that's why I get up and do it every day, man. Is I know that y'all want me to fight for y'all."
Yeah.
He said, "Man, you've done so much for us. Name one thing that he's done."
Just don't.
But that to me, unfortunately, I mean, that's your typical Black Jackson voter. All right, you look just like me, and you say the things I want to hear. Results be damned. I'm voting for you. You're 17% blacker than the other guy. You're gonna blame white flight and racism 17% more for all of our problems than the other guy.
Yeah, I just wonder what kind of a mind F it takes to convince yourself that he's done a good job. Like, how do you get to that place where you're like, man, this is some good stuff? Like, I don't know how objectively, like when you're somebody's a president or elected governor, you can always point to certain good things they do or, bad things, even if you're on the other side, if you're being objective about it, I think at least. But in Chokwe's case, I mean, I don't know that if you're being completely as objective as you can be, you can name one thing. And we've asked that question many times. Could somebody put one thing that he's done that's positive? And I just, and me, like, I try to be more objective than anybody. Like,
sure,
if I were something, I would say, like, okay, he did a really good job at promoting the arts or something, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but
he's done nothing.
But there's not one of those things that you can point to that he's done. So I don't know. Let's say, okay, you're running for mayor as Chokwe, like as he is. What are you campaigning on? Like, you've had 8 years. So what is everybody's got like their achievements. And so what do you campaign on? The roads? No, that's not one thing. The water? No.
He campaigns on buzzwords.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's all you got.
He
do.
Campaigns on Democrat buzzwords, equity. Look, I screwed the water up so bad I got $500 million from the government.
And he said that, actually. I know that he's actually said that before. He's like, and I saw that in the Show Me Lambright article, kind of referenced that, where like, so the logic here is, let me get this straight, is if you mess something up so bad that causes you to get a reimbursement, or not reimbursement, I don't know what you want to call it, but money for it, then you obtained money because you screwed something up.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that kind of like, this is probably a bad analogy, but isn't that kind of like wrecking your car and then like getting the insurance settlement or something? Like, well, I mean, I got the insurance money at least, but you actually wrecked your car and, and your insurance went up.
It's kind of like, I think a better analogy is the old, you don't get to set the building on fire or you don't get to kidnap the person, then get the reward.
Okay, that is
turning
better.
them in.
Yeah, that is better.
Right. And that's what, and unfortunately, the most Jacksonians, I would say 70% of Jacksonians are absolute trash, and they don't care. Sean, there's a certain level of, and you've dealt with this in the DA's office, there's a certain level of lawlessness in Jackson, and there's a certain level of Jacksonian enjoys the lawlessness. They want to ride around with no car tag. They want to go out there and play bumper cars in their Hyundai Sonatas and Kia Fortes or Optimas or whatever the hell it is they're driving. They want to not have insurance. They want to smoke dope everywhere they go. They don't want to be pestered with the little broken windows policing.
Yeah.
They like lawlessness. This is what they vote for. It's not because they think Chokwe does a good job. Chokwe represents lawlessness, and the black version of white trash. And they like that.
Do you think those people? I always wonder that question about that. Like the people that like lawlessness, which I agree there are tons of those people. Are they going to the polls? You know what I mean? Do you think they're like, or is it just that he just is the most, he's the most well-known candidate and he gets all the votes, and that's why I kind of figured it was.
I mean, I think it's a combination of both.
Because it seems like if you're the dude that's just like driving around smoking dope and like playing bumper cars, like are you like, man, I'm getting to the poll today? Like I always just wonder that. Like are those? I know there's probably no way to really track that necessarily, like that individual. We should actually do like a thing where you put like a tracker on a shark, and like track to see if these folks vote.
Yeah. All right, look, man, we jumped completely off the tracks there, off our main topic, but that was going to be one of the topics. I didn't plan on that turning into it. But that wasn't even a paid ad read, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
That was just saying, hey, we're going to be at the Kim Wade roast tomorrow night out in Brandon. Look, write this down. It's going to be tomorrow night, 6:30, 7 to 9 p.m. at 1054 Lake Village Circle. The building is called The Village. I pulled it up on Google Maps last night. It's pretty easy to find. It's right down there, kind of behind, right down the road from the bowling alley out there on the reservoir. This segment was actually brought to you by our good friends at Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. They're going to be up here this Friday. You got to get your order in by Thursday around lunchtime. Go to StoningtonFarm.com. That's Stonington with 2 N's. I'm telling y'all, I beg y'all, try this grass-fed beef. If you only want to get 1 pound of ground beef, because you don't trust me, but you're curious, you're grass-fed curious, just try 1 pound of grass-fed beef. And if you don't like it, I'm not giving you your money back. You're just going to ignore me moving forward. But I promise you, you're going to love it. They also have all the steaks. You can get mini cow, half cow packages. Maybe you're going to do a roast for Christmas. Consider a grass-fed roast. I promise your family will notice the difference. They will ask you, where did this roast come from? This is amazing. And you're going to be able to sit there and go, you can't get that stove. I got my little place. Give them a try. You will not regret it. Locally owned, locally operated, well, in Mississippi. 100% grass-fed, 100% grass-finished, mRNA-free, antibiotic-free, and unlike me, steroid-free. Mississippi-raised, grass-fed beef. We'll be right back. We're going to pick back up talking about our vigilante justice heroes. Who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy? We're talking about Luigi Mangione right now, and we're going to finish unpacking that, and we're going to work our way to Daniel Penny. I want Sean's professional opinion on both of these. This is the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 FM, WYAB. Oop. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Ellis Autoplex. Get over there, see Casey Ellis and the team today for all of your used vehicle needs. Place nicknamed Little Truck City because they specialize in trucks. That's right, they specialize in trucks, my friend. 4-wheel drive trucks, big old 4-wheel drive trucks. They got them at Ellis Autoplex. But they also have cars and SUVs. They got all sorts of different financing options. You got to be in business for a little while as an independent dealer. I think it's 5 years, something like that. A few years anyway, before you start really getting some good banks. Casey has been in business long enough now that he's starting to get access to some better banks over there for handling all the financing under the roof there without you having to leave. He's gotten some new banks, especially for good credit folks. But bad credit, don't worry. Got you covered, too, as long as you got enough money down. We've got some lenders that can help you out as well. You can get started with that online application at ellisautoplex.com. Save everybody a little time. And let me give you just a little bit of advice. When you're doing the online applications, especially if your credit's kind of on the peripheral between bad and average, or between average and good, or between good and great, really doesn't matter where you're at unless you know you're a 750 plus or so. Don't be playing games with people, trying to put down the least amount of money possible. If you got to put money down, tell them how much you got. Do it the right way. Save everybody a little time. If you got $5,000 put down, say, I got $5,000 put down. And roll like that. Let your first punch be your best punch, because the banks don't like playing that little game with y'all. You're not negotiating price. You're trying to get a $50,000, $60,000 loan. So just a little heads up there. Banks aren't amused by the little games of let me put as little down as possible. So just a FYI. I didn't mean to jump down a rabbit hole there, but Ellis Autoplex got you taken care of. They probably spend more time than any other dealership I've ever seen in my life doing the reconditioning vehicles to make sure they're right before they sell. Look, stuff happens. I've seen vehicles, almost brand new vehicles, pull out on the road and break down. You can't predict things that are going to break. But Ellis always takes care of any known issues before they sell a vehicle. Give them a chance to earn your business today. And don't forget, they buy vehicles. So if you're in the market to sell yours, don't deal with the marketplace maniacs or the Craigslist crazies. And they're out there, man. I see it every day. Don't take a chance of getting a fake check from one of these little thugs around here. Because if you do, you're just out of vehicle. Because your insurance company is not going to pay that. They're not going to give you money. That's not a stolen vehicle anymore. You gave your vehicle away if you take a bad check for your vehicle. So, FYI, go sell it to Ellis Autoplex. Get a real local check from a real local bank today. Get your fair market value. You won't be disappointed. EllisAutoplex.com. Located right out there on Highway 471. And technically it's Flowwood. So get over there. See them today. As soon as you get off Highway 25, take your right. Second car dealership on the right. All right, Sean, we got the getting back on track here.
Yeah.
We got Luigi Mangione, or however you say his last name. He looks like a Mendez brother to me. We're going to start calling him Luigi Mendez. I wonder if he's into the gay stuff too. I bet he is.
Maybe.
I bet he is. Talking about he couldn't have sex because of those back problems.
Yeah, that one. You sent me that article yesterday, and I think I told you that last night. I said, most guys I know, you're like, man, I'm going to take a pill or whatever I got to do. Yeah. Like, this ain't going to stop me from it. So.
I mean, what time is it? 7:49. Kids should be out of the car. If your kids aren't out of the car, we'll give about 5 seconds here.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Worst case scenario, just lay there and let the girl get on top.
Yeah.
Without any graphic details or anything. And that's never caused me a back problem. Now, so it got me to thinking, is he having to, why would his back matter? Is he having to kind of roll that back up and poke his butt up in the air or something like that? That could cause a back problem. I can see where like having a slip disc or something, that could be be an issue.
Yeah. I haven't seen any ex-girlfriends come out yet either. Usually you see that a lot. Like, that was my girlfriend. He's a real pretty boy too. He kind of puts off some gay energy. And hey, not judging. I'm just saying, why would back pain prevent you from, like, they were made a big deal. Like, in that article,
that he was crying because he couldn't have sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If anybody wants, that's the Daily Beast. If anybody wants to read it.
Yeah. There's a big article about kind of like how he went down this thing and
with his back injury or whatever it was, surgeries, and
saying that maybe the back pain drove him insane.
Yeah.
And that I will say, long-term pain is very hard to deal with. Mm-hmm. It will start changing who you are. And the war on opioids is a double-edged sword, because on one side you have people who are abusing drugs and turning into addicts, and opioids are very deadly. On the other, you have people who actually need their long-term pain medicine, and now they're not able to get it the way that they used to be able to get it. And they're suffering, and you're in pain, and you're prone to make bad decisions when you're in pain. And I'm not defending this guy at all, but I do wonder that if this is true about the back pain and the back surgeries, and there's pictures of the X-rays where they put the rods and the stuff in his back, and I don't know what caused the back injury, but I know it was aggravated by surfing injury at one point when he was over in Hawaii. Anyway, real quick before we got to go to our next break, I want to play this video. This is his attorney speaking after his arrest.
The suspect's attorney, Thomas Dickey, addressing the charges against his client while speaking to reporters just a few minutes ago. Take a listen.
Listen, I haven't seen any evidence that says that he's the shooter. So that's, like I said earlier, and I wasn't kidding around, a couple of things. If you're going to report something, report accurately. And remember, and this is not just a small thing, the fundamental concept of American justice is a presumption of innocence, and until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I've seen zero evidence at this point.
He said across the board he anticipates that his client, Mangione, will likely plead not guilty, as you said, to the charges there in Pennsylvania for that ghost gun and fake IDs that police said that they found on him when he was arrested, and that when those murder charges officially come down from New York, that they anticipate pleading not guilty there as well. He's saying he hasn't seen any evidence that his client is the shooter. He's saying he should be presumed innocent for now. And we know that Dickey was hired just this afternoon. He's a private criminal defense attorney in that Pennsylvania area obtained by Mangione. He was by his side in that extradition hearing earlier today. This, of course, all coming after Mangione's arrest at that McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania yesterday. And Dickey explained that he believed his client was entitled to bail and believed that the judge should have said it today. And earlier he said that Mangione is taking this as well as.
That is an ABC News reporter, and she is an more than any national media person I've heard in a long time. We got to take our break real quick. We will be right back to close out the first hour. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here with SHAUN YURTKURAN on 103.9 FM WYAB. Guys, because I have horrible clock management skills, we got about, 2 minutes before the top of the hour break. We were discussing Luigi Mangione. You've heard from his attorney now. You've heard from him, or you've heard some stuff from him. Sean, one of the things that I have found strange is he doesn't deny having the gun, the 3D printed gun. He still had the gun. But what is strange is he denies having the foreign funds. Now, he had like $10,000 in cash on him. Yeah. What I did find out this morning is $8,000 or so of it was American money.
I read that too. Yeah.
And so it was a much smaller amount of foreign funds than I originally thought.
And it did say what? So he didn't say what country when I read it.
I did not see that either. Okay. And he is denying those funds being his, that those have been planted.
And the Faraday bag. He's saying that was not something that he had purchased, or that it. I think he used some word like criminal, sophistication or something. I think something like that. That's what he said.
Yeah. For those that don't know, a Faraday bag is something you put a cell phone in, and it will not be able to track it.
Right.
I believe he did have that.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would have.
Yeah. I believe he did in fact have that.
I did a little video yesterday. Speaking of that, about I know we're not talking about, but not to jump ahead to Polo, but the big thing in this Polo trial is going to be his cell phone pings and pinging him in locations, and that's a common tool of law enforcement is to use cell phone pings. I mean, tons of people that I've convicted had a it's because of cell phone pings, and I always say in my video I was saying toss your cell phone.
We'll be right back on radio.
Gotcha.
You can tell they finished telling this crime.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so, I was talking about Polo's trial and saying if you commit a crime, you need to toss your cell phone in the river, because that's one way to get caught, is that they're going to be able to pinpoint your location through your cell phone. So I was wondering, speaking back to Mangione, they found a cell phone at the scene, didn't they? Some sort of cell phone.
I don't know.
I think they did. I don't know whether that was his or not. When they found like a cell phone in a water bottle, I thought, I believe anyway. So if he did keep his cell phone, it makes sense that he would have had a Faraday bag to block those pings in which location he possibly was going. Now, of course, when he committed the crime, nobody knew. You wouldn't know who to ping at that time because nobody knew who the guy was. And I mean, so they wouldn't have really had an idea whose cell phone to be pinging. And I can imagine how hard cell phone pinging is in New York City. That's got to be very difficult because there's so much traffic going on. I mean, I know you could do it. I'm just wondering how that would work necessarily. but they would have to have a suspect. You'd have to have somebody to ping that you know that you're pinging, and they didn't know who he was at the time. Now, I am wondering, too, and I was talking to a friend of mine that works for the Marshal Service about this a few days ago. Did they know who he was once you saw that picture of him at the hotel, at the hostel? Like, because it's a pretty good photograph, it's from the side kind of. So did they have an idea? And I think Eric Adams actually said they had a name prior to his arrest. Do you remember that? I think the mayor of New York said that there was a name, that they did have a name, but they were not releasing it prior to his arrest announcing. So I think they may have known who he was. And if so, were they then pinging whatever phone he had? That'd be a question. It'd be interesting to find out. But if he had it in a Faraday bag, then they couldn't have done it, as far as I know. So,
interesting. All of it. Very interesting. I don't know.
Moral of the story is, toss your cell phone.
Well, yeah, if you're going to commit a crime, toss your cell phone. Don't take it with you.
Yeah.
And then also, if you drive a later model car that has any type of computer in it, especially a GPS system, they can go all the time. Cops go back and they pull that data to see if your vehicle had been on that path. It records everything.
Sure.
So that's why if you're going to go, I'm not telling you how to kill anybody or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
this is satire.
Yeah, this is. I ain't never made crack. I just know the recipe.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
I'm just saying. But as Master P would say, I ain't never made it. I know the recipe. Or was that Cat Williams? But Master P made crack like this on tape one time. Anyway, don't do it in a late model vehicle. Get an old car or a bicycle.
I had this idiot one time, Clay, I prosecuted, and he thought he was being smart because he knew about the cell phone thing. So what he did was he left his actual cell phone at home. But he had another one that he had an account for under his name, and he took that one with him. And then, of course, one part of his defense was, well, my main cell phone was at home.
Daniel Penny, and why they're really nothing alike, but they're going on at the same time, so I thought it would make for an interesting conversation.
Do you think Penny is a vigilante, though? That's what I was thinking. I don't think he's a vigilante.
No.
I think he's a good Samaritan.
He's a good Samaritan.
I don't think that's vigilante. He was doing anything vigilante.
But
since
the Black Lives Matter guy came out and said they need his black vigilantes, he's being deemed a vigilante.
Okay, I just thought he's good. He was just trying to save people.
Yep,
seemed like so.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick moment of silence as we come back from the break. Y'all don't go anywhere. Hit that like button wherever you're watching this at, especially on YouTube. Please, please, please help us with that algorithm. Stay tuned. We will be right back here in a minute or less. Boom, shakalaka boom. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO as well as the internet. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Shaun YURTKURAN, streaming worldwide in 4K video at SaveJXN across Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. And of course, we're on Mr. YURTKURAN's Facebook page as well this morning,
and my law firm page. I actually got it right for one morning. I was able to. I did it before I left the house this time, and so I've just started it.
Cool.
And that works better.
Streaming to the business page.
Yeah, streaming both of them.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So we want to make sure when Shaun's here that he's getting the opportunity to stream and help him bust through the algorithm there and give him some good content as well. We haven't got no problem sharing this content anywhere. So this segment will be brought to you by our good friends at, how about, we hadn't talked about Acme Pizza and Daiquiris this week. Let's tell you about Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. I went out there the other night. Man, got some great pizza. Really, really enjoyed it. Had a whole crew. Had some kids with us, some adults with us. We hit everything from a virgin Shirley Temple for young Mr. Lakin, and then we got frozen daiquiris and margaritas for the ladies, and your boy got a cold beer. So they had it all there at Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. We got the dynamite balls. We had 2 orders. The first order went so fast we had to get a second order. Even the kids like the dynamite balls. You can get a kid to like anything other than a chicken nugget. You're doing good. And trust me, that was a topic of conversation at the table, was the fact that one of the girls, her young daughter, liked the dynamite ball. She's like, she doesn't like anything. She liked that. So that was a pleasant surprise. Get out there, try the dynamite balls. It's fresh smoked pulled pork wrapped around cream cheese, deep fried and then drizzled in some barbecue, Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. You can't go wrong with that. And, of course, all the pizzas made from scratch, the crust, everything daily. Located at Fannin Mart on the Res, directly in front of the Fannin Lanes bowling alley. Open 6 days a week, closed on Tuesdays, but they're open from 4 p.m. to midnight. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. There's going to be some a tweak to the holiday hours. They're going to be closed a day or two. Not sure exactly which ones yet. I was talking to Chip about that yesterday, but call before you haul. I guess I would say around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and that little 3-day window there from Christmas Eve to the day after Christmas. Just make sure they're there. All right, moving on along here. Again, Acme Pizza and Daiquiris available on all major food delivery apps. Don't forget they got the frozen daiquiris, and they are available to go. 9 different frozen daiquiris, 12 different specialty pizzas. All right, got that all out of the way there. Let's see here, Sean. Let's pivot a little bit.
Yeah.
I've got some video here. One of the things that I've noticed is, you say it's the left and the right. I haven't seen the right doing it, but the left has definitely been celebrating this guy's death.
I'm not going to say I've seen some celebrations on the left. I think what I mean is I've seen equal amount of, what's the word here, recognition of the healthcare problems in the country is what I've noticed, where that issue has now been kind of the forefront. Even I've noticed just somebody wrote in the comment, Peekaboo's in the comments talking about it now. I don't know if he's a conservative, but I just an example of, there's so many people I've noticed that are on the right that I didn't think were talking about healthcare that are now, it's like people are talking about the problems they've had with claim denials and United Healthcare being the worst healthcare company in the country, pretty much. So that's what I wouldn't say celebratory is not really the way I'd put it, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, but we're talking about two different things here.
Right. Okay.
Acknowledging there's a healthcare problem. Everybody knows there's a healthcare problem in this country. I mean, it's called Obamacare. Everybody knows there's a healthcare problem in this country. But the conversation we've been having for the last couple of days is the left has been celebrating this guy's death. I think there's a big difference there. A large part of people on the left-hand side have been celebrating the fact that this guy got assassinated, and they're trying to turn this kid into a folk hero for doing so. And we've got a little video here. Here is left-wing journalist, nut job herself, Taylor Lorenz, formerly of the Daily Beast, formerly of the Washington Post, and now formerly of who did she just get fired by? Vox, I believe. But this is her on Piers Morgan, along with Tommy Lorraine, or whatever her name is, that's with Outkick, used to be on Fox News. This is very interesting here, and I think this is a look into the left-hand side of the celebratory nature that they've been exuberant about. I don't know. I butchered that, but you know what I mean. Let's listen to her celebrate this guy's death.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt...
Right, hold on. Let me push it back just a little further ahead than I thought. Here we go.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's been gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Thousands of Americans that be murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
So should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
But why not?
And,
why are you laughing?
I think because it wouldn't fix the system.
You seem to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question funny.
A bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO.
Nobody's laughing about that.
Now, I want to fix the system. You're right. We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice. No. I think that it is a good thing that this murder has led to America, or really the media elites and politicians in this country paying attention to this issue for the first time. You mentioned you couldn't understand why somebody would feel this reaction when they watched a CEO die. It's because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans have.
I've dealt with the healthcare system in various ways in America. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but the idea that I would view it as something...
Have you been denied life-saving treatment?
The idea that I would view it as something joyful, that a man has been, who's just a healthcare executive, has been executed in the street, I find completely bizarre.
All right. Now, in a bubble, you could say, well, she unpacked that a little bit and kind of makes the point that at least it's bringing attention too. And I know that's what that's kind of been your point on it. Hey, it's bringing attention.
Yeah, not that it's a good thing, right? But what I've noticed is that people on the right and the left are agreeing on the issues with healthcare. Not necessarily agreeing on somebody should be murdered, but agreeing that this is, and now I think it's funny for, Piers Morgan said, he's rich. I'm sure he's not dealt with it. Now, I'm not, there's lots of people that have had claim denials, we've discussed many times, that are dead because of these kind of things. And United Healthcare has got a 32% claim denial rate. The industry standard is 16%. Kaiser Permanente's is 7%. So United Healthcare has a claim denial rate double the industry standard. 76,000 Americans died last year because of claim denials. So there's justifiable anger in society about it. This is not justifying a murder, but it's the conversation to talk about that this is an issue. And I think that's where I'm seeing the right and the left agree on it. And I think you sent me something last week about Cenk and PBD were talking about this, that podcast together. And I thought, then you had two people from different sides of the aisle kind of agreeing on the healthcare problems in this country. And I think that's kind of what's this has sparked.
Yeah. But people can talk about the fact there's healthcare problems, but I don't think, again, we got a big chunk of people celebrating the death, a murder of this guy, and there's people going out there doing these memes and stuff where it's he was with me, like doing the alibi memes. And stuff
I see that everywhere, right? They're everywhere. Yeah, he was with me, right? He was. I don't think those are all liberals, though. I mean, I think I see that you sent me a truck stop post last night. Where they were doing it.
I know. And you said this truck stop was a conservative thing.
Yeah, I always say that that's a conservative site. That's why I was a member of that. I've seen that or follow it or whatever.
What makes you feel like that's a satire?
I don't know. I just thought it was a satire. They do a lot of pro-Trump stuff on it, like I've seen before. So
truck stop stuff.
But, I mean, I've seen what I'm saying. I've seen it everywhere from all walks of life. People, the memes and stuff, it just doesn't seem like a left-right issue to me. I get that, what's her name? Tony Lorenz?
Taylor Lorenz.
I never heard of her before, but maybe she's saying that on the left, she's celebrating, but I've just seen it all over the place. Whereas, I think I sent you something last night that, Gerard Gibert wrote a post talking about, not that he was for it, obviously, but talking about how he was shocked, as many people on the right, he's seeing now for single-payer health insurance because of this.
And he didn't say it was because of this.
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of what he said, didn't he?
No. He was just talking in general about single payer health care. He didn't say that because of this people want single payer health care. He was just saying that people are moving away from the traditional conservative thought process on this.
Yeah, I think, but it was it was because of this. Not because like the guy is killed, but I'm saying because of the anger at the healthcare system that we're experiencing in this country. That's been an issue. That's why I don't see this as a left, because I mean, people get their claim denied whether they voted for Trump or they voted for Kamala Harris. So this is just something that everybody has, tons of people have endured. And I guess, I don't know how that's a left or right issue in terms of that. Now, do I think they should celebrate? Absolutely not. Do I think the guy should be prosecuted? 100%. That's what you can't do that. But
would you still feel that way? Because it felt like originally when you thought that this was a Robin Hood type character,
that was like his mom was killed by claim denial.
You feel like your tune was a little different then.
Yeah, if the story was that his mother or father or child or something, I would have a lot more sympathy for him. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, I think you would too. I think we all would. If it were something that a family member, a child, a wife, died because United Healthcare denied their claim, and you could link it 100% to that, I think just people in general would feel sympathy for that. I'm not saying, again, that he should have got it, but I mean, you could see where that would drive somebody to that. if you watching a loved one die because of a claim denial, I think you could see that. But here, I think it's different because and you and I were discussing this last night and the day before, he just seems like an entitled rich kid ideologue. So he doesn't really get a lot of sympathy based upon who he is. He's had every advantage in life that I can tell that somebody could have, and he just decided to go out and do this, which is different than the Robin Hood example that, of this guy who lost somebody dear to them because of United Healthcare, which there's a lot of people out there that have lost, people out there, because of United Healthcare. And, it's not, they're not Ben and Jerry's, right? It's, so, I mean, there's those people out there. They didn't commit murder, obviously, but it certainly has happened and is happening.
Yeah. So Taylor, got herself fired over this, and this kind of pulls back to a broader thing about why I 100% support free speech. Mm-hmm. Why I don't believe in us having to go out and cancel people. That if you just let crazy people talk long enough, they'll eventually cancel themselves.
Right.
And that is what has happened with young Taylor here, as Vox has leaked that she's been fired. But of course, they're not saying that it was because of this. But obviously,
I'm sure. If you're, I think if you're saying I'm celebrating.
Now, she also wrote some other pieces on her Substack of why these people should be killed, why healthcare officials should be killed now.
Oh, did she?
She's taken it to the extreme on this. So again,
right? Yeah, she's pushing to a limit on what.
So that's why I'm saying that, and of course I'm just saying definitely people on the left are celebrating this guy's murder, and we can sit here and we can say I'm going to tie in people wanting to have a conversation. His death ain't going to be in vain if we're going to have a conversation about healthcare. Mm-hmm. But by no means should people be celebrating a CEO being gunned down in the back walking down the street.
No, they shouldn't be celebrating it. No, and I agree with that. They should not be celebrating. I
don't care how much insider trading he did, or how many claims he's denied. Ain't like he sat there and personally denied every claim.
No, but I mean, he did oversee the company that did so, and the company again, like I said, has doubled the industry standard, 32% denial rate, where the industry standard is 16%. So I mean, there's obviously something going on in that company, why they're doing that or behaving in that manner. I think, I agree. I don't think you should celebrate it, but it shows you there's an underbelly in this country where this is an issue. Because I mean, again, like I'll use if the CEO of Ben and Jerry's got shot, there wouldn't be people celebrating that. There's a reason why people are mad here. They're upset because they have lost loved ones. They have had their claim denied. They've had insurance because of United Healthcare and other insurance companies, of course. So, that's an issue. I think that, if there's any good to come out of this.
Actually, Ben and Jerry's are absolute left-wing
nuts. Oh, okay. Give me a better example. I don't know.
That push the trans agenda.
Well, pick another company.
COVID vaccines and all that. So I definitely would not shed a tear.
Pick another company then for me.
Ben or Jerry's fat asses got a kind of.
All right, give me a non-woke company. Give me a non-woke company.
I wouldn't celebrate it, but
right.
You wouldn't, just karma.
Yeah, give me a non-woke company then. I don't know who, somebody, whoever, somebody that's just vanilla that we wouldn't care about, that wouldn't, the CEO of Hasbro. I don't know. Maybe they're woke. Who knows? But that's what I mean. So, I mean, there's obviously a reason why this kind of outrage is out there. And it's because I think, everybody, whether you're Republican or Democrat, conservative, liberal, have been affected by the U.S. healthcare system and dealt with claim denials and those sorts of things. And just the general, you and I both are self-employed, and we've discussed many times over and over the difficulty of getting good insurance when you're self-employed. I mean, because we've created this employer-based system as an incentive to employment going back to the early 1950s. And this has just been, a complete issue. And now it's been kind of coming to a head, I think at this time. And now, people are, and it's not just the insurers. I mean, if you go really dig deep, and there's so many, and you kind of brought this up last week a little bit, there's hospitals and the doctors are involved too. Everybody's kind of part of this, coexisting in this system that's not running efficiently and correctly for the people.
Everybody's benefiting from it except the patient or customer.
Correct. That's right. I mean, so it's not, the insurance companies are an easy enemy, I think. But there's a lot of moving parts to this that need to be corrected. So.
Yep. All right, let's take a break. We will be right back. Nance on YouTube says both men did the right thing. I just disagree 100%.
Both men?
Well, we're going to go back to Daniel. She's talking about Daniel Penny and Luigi. I think Luigi is a cold-blooded killer, and I wish he had done it somewhere other than New York so he could get the death penalty for doing it. We will be right back. We're going to shift it over to the Daniel Penny side of this. on the Clay Edwards Show with SHAUN, YURTKURAN. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Some commercial breaks are shorter than others, apparently.
Some feel like they're forever, but
yeah, that one. We are back here live on 4K video on Facebook, X, Rumble, and YouTube at SaveJXN, as well as the YURTKURAN Law Firm Facebook page, and we are on 103.9 FM, WYAB. SHAUN, let's pivot. Well, we gotta promote some of our great locally owned businesses here, guys. The Manship.
Oh yeah, that's I went there Friday night. We went there after the Capitol. It's called the Lights, the light thing downtown, whatever it's called. I don't know, Capital City Lights, something like that.
So you got the Manship. Look, consider them for lunch. They got great blue plates. It's all high. This is all high end, fancy food stuff, and it's so good.
Yeah,
you go get a blue plate for $15 from one of the best restaurants in the state of Mississippi. You can't beat that. Don't buck it here in $15 either. That's not much money, unfortunately, nowadays for a good blue plate. There's several places that SHAUN and I go eat lunch at on a regular basis, and I ain't walked out of there spending less than $25 or $30.
Never.
Unfortunately, it's expensive to eat right now, and if you can get in and out for $15, that includes your soft drink too, by the way, or sweet tea or unsweet tea or whatever. It includes your drink other than just water. So check out the Manship. Don't forget their happy hour. Their pizzas, their wood-fired pizzas, are only 50% off. Not only 50% off. I don't know what the price is. I'm going to say the price. They are 50% off.
Yeah.
So up to half price, and they got $5 select barrel bourbon shots.
I think they got the largest bourbon selection in the state, or the metro area at least. I think I've been told that before. I know that Steven's really into that, and it's great. They have a drink there called the Best Damn Gin and Tonic, and it really is. If you ever get a chance, and I'm not a gin person, but when I go there, I drink it because it's so good.
The Tony Geiger.
Is it the Tony Geiger?
The Tony Geiger.
The Tony Geiger, yeah.
So, man, look, get by there. Check them out. They're on State Street right across from Baptist Hospital. They got their own parking garage, or they have a parking garage to park in. If you're looking for somewhere to have a little holiday get-together, they can handle anywhere from 1 to 100 people. And consider them for your holiday catering needs. They got prime rib. They got some other things available. And what's great is nobody has to know that you got it from them. People can think you cooked it. And they'll think like, wow, Becky Sue, you really outdid yourself this
time.
Game
is up.
And boom, get over there, check them out. They got hams and all kind of stuff. They got charcuterie boards.
That had that Friday night, which is really good.
I can imagine.
It is so good.
Check out the charcuterie board from the Manship. Also, again, you get a whole prime rib. Man, that sounds so good. But check them out today. Take them out to dinner. Go impress that first date. Don't take them to Applebee's. Take them to the Manship, located right there in downtown Jackson. Check them out on Facebook, Manship Jackson. All right, SHAUN.
Yeah.
We got to get over to the Manship here soon.
No, man, I'm telling you, it is really good. I can walk there from my house, so it's definitely a stop. Because, you've got they built that whole district in Bellhaven right there with the Manship, and then the brewery's right next to it, and then they got all those other little restaurants I don't really know anything about. Some I've been to, some I haven't. And then the new bar that Chaz guy is right there at District Donuts. That's supposed to open like in a week or two. And then Lance is building the one in Lou's. So that's going to be really a really fun area here. I mean, it is already, but it's really going to be great.
Good stuff. Keep good luck keeping the trash at bay.
It's right there they do a really good job. Capitol Police's presence there is terrific.
It is,
and they gate off a lot of those streets at evening hours too, so you kind of walk around and it's safe. So,
all right, Daniel Penny,
a
real American hero. He was found not guilty, or whatever, however you want to. Acquitted on everything.
Yeah, Mr. Tuesday, I think one was a manslaughter charge, and then they proceeded to a criminally negligent homicide charge, which was interesting to me because it's worked different than you do in this state and most Mississippi and most states, where the jury generally gets the lesser included instructions at one right when they go back. Like if you charge somebody with murder, you also throw in a manslaughter instruction, which is a lesser included offense. So here they deliberated on the one charge, and then they came back deadlocked, and then they they went back and they said, okay, well, now you go deliberate on this other charge, which is a lesser included, I'm assuming. And then they found him not guilty on that charge.
Yeah, I like it.
It's interesting though. I mean, I guess procedurally, it's an interesting way they do business up there. What I was curious about,
like trying to arrest innocent people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
Trying to send innocent people to prison for the rest of their life. Yeah, very interesting way that Alvin Bragg's office does business.
He's got some problems, obviously. Well, I just thought it was like the manslaughter charge is the higher charge, and then the other one is the lesser included is what I'm assuming. So I was wondering how they got deadlocked on the higher charge, but then they were not guilty on the lesser included. Because usually it's like the reverse. Like they'll deadlock on the higher charge and then find them guilty on the lesser included charge. That's the way that usually works. If you have a deadlock jury on a higher, like say they deadlock on murder, then they'll find you guilty on manslaughter a lot of times. So
yeah.
I mean, I've seen it happen this way too, but I just found it from a former prosecutor, criminal defense attorney perspective. I thought it was kind of interesting. So
it is, and then Black Lives Matter are outside raising hell, talking about this guy got away with murder and white supremacy won again and all this stuff. I want to play this little clip here real quick. I played it yesterday, but this is BLM. I don't know how there's a BLM president or whatever leader. He just woke up today and decided I'm the leader. This is what when we talk about black for a living, this is what we're talking about. These are the people we're talking about. Everything's about racism. And, Sean, we've reached this weird point in this country. I know we're beating a dead horse with a stick over here at this point with this conversation, but we've reached this point in this country where there's a big portion of black folks that they don't care if what the black person was doing. You're just supposed to let them do it to you. You are not allowed to kill them or defend yourself because you don't understand the struggle that their life was that got them to that point that they had to do it. And you're just supposed to sit there, take it, and be the victim and deal with it. And if you defend yourself, you're now part of the supremacy. And you're supposed to go to jail for the rest of your life. It's the way Jody Owens apparently thinks. Yeah. It's the way, I mean, he's a whole damn DA, not 3/5 of a DA.
I call him the whole milk DA because I'm talking about cows, you know.
Well, Jody Owens, I'm a whole radio host. I ain't 3/5 of one.
You see Polo call him up in that opening statement? Did you watch some of that?
Not yet. Okay. It was late last night. Before we go, let's listen to this real quick.
Okay.
This is the BLM leader calling for violence around the country and for some black vigilantes. And Sean may be surprised here. Sean, I actually support his call for black vigilantes, just probably not the kind he does. Here we go.
Just like everybody else has vigilantes. We
Vigilantes.
need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same?
If that was the case, there would be dead bodies all throughout movie theaters and Applebee's all throughout the country if people were just killing black folks for being loud.
When they attempt to oppress us.
Right.
I'm tired.
Tired.
I know you're looking for us to be like, oh, go and march. Go and march. No. This weekend, I want you to hold a community event everywhere from the Bronx to Houston to Seattle to Florida. Black people hold community events and talk about what you need. Just like everybody else has.
Killing black folks for being loud. The guy, he didn't get killed for being loud. He does not what he did.
No, that's not what he did. You know, the made me think. Okay, so I try to stay away from the race issue, but so I was at. And she's gonna hate me for saying this, but we were watching Gladiator 2 a few weeks ago, and Lindsay won't stop asking me questions in the theater, and it got so bad that black people were telling her to be quiet. I said, "See, it's like they're telling you to be quiet because you're talking so much." Sorry, that's as far edgy as I'll get on that. But I was like,
I mean, look, bro, it ain't no secret that black folks like to talk in the movie theaters.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually a lot of my black friends. I'll be honest. I was telling them, I was like, we'll talk about race issues, and I'm like, all right, I got to ask a question. What's up with the movie theater thing? That's all of that.
I mean, you get a table of black ladies at a. I just always use Applebee's as my catch-all for those little, franchise pub style restaurants. It could be Chili's, it could be Applebee's, it could be wherever. Man, I mean, you get 2 or 3 black ladies at the bar area, and it sounds like 37 bulls running through the restaurant. I've never seen such a small group of people have the ability to get as loud as they do. I mean, that's just factual stuff. Like, I say this all the time. If it's fact, it can't be racist. And just acknowledging that people are different and have little things that make them different, that is not racism. That is just acknowledging reality.
Yeah. No, I think, right? No, it's just I was just thinking about the racial jokes that have been made in my direction by my friends, and I'm like, yeah, one of the big running jokes is they call me a rug merchant. And I'm like, well, my dad had a clothing shop. It's just kind of what we do, It's
I get called unseasoned.
Right.
I get everybody accuses me of being a Klansman. I mean, I get called stuff all the time.
Yeah, but the Klansman thing isn't true though. There's some racial stereotypes that are actually true. Yep. That are and I mean I'm just directing that towards myself, and I'm like, God, man, a lot of people in my family have been merchants. Like you think about it.
I made some people mad yesterday talking about black people having a bunch of vowels in their first names. It's just true. You do. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, I'm convinced that when a lot of times when kids are born, there's a fishbowl over there with about 872 AEIOUs in it, and mama pulls out 12 of them and finds a word that makes some kind that they can quasi pronounce, and boom, there he is. There the kid is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just some very, very unique names that y'all are making up as you go here. And they all seem to have a bunch of vowels in them. That's just true.
No, I mean, it is. And white people do the same thing, right? But in a different way.
McBraley.
Yeah, like Megan. And I remember the old George Carlin skit where he said, what is up with Taylor and Dakota? And, he's like, Mikey, Polly, Nikki beat the crap out of Taylor and Dakota, and I don't know, whoever it is.
No, it's the millennial mom names.
Yeah, I mean, white people do that weird stuff too. That's just.
Like Kaylee, Bailey, McGailey,
Jaylee. Yeah. That's it, right? I mean, it's like, can you call the girl Jennifer? Do you have to go?
What happened to good strong names like Steve and Bob and Clay and Sean?
Yeah, just normal stuff. Michael, it's just normal.
When was the last time a Matt was born?
Yeah, it just comes up with these.
Chris. I mean, I haven't met a new kid named Chris in forever.
That's right. It's just, I mean, it really is, that is kind of one of my pet peeves, because I know people will say, well, look at all these black names are funny, which they are, let's just be honest. But I mean, white people do the same stuff on a different way, and it's just as annoying.
And look, you can always tell when like my daughter's name is Kylie. Mm-hmm. Now, or you could say Kaylee.
Yeah.
However. But we'll use Ashley as an example. This all started, we got to take a break, but we'll use Ashley as the example here. It's a better one. You can always tell when a kid was born in Rankin County or Madison County, and they both their names can be Ashley.
Yeah.
Rankin County, it ends with an EY.
Mm-hmm.
Madison County, it's EIGH or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the more like hoity-toity way of saying Ashley. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be right back with SHAUN YURTKURAN on the Clay Edwards Show. Corinthians says black folks like to talk through movies and shows, period. It's like we were anointed to be the official commentators. Trust me, I've suffered this all my life.
It is true. Are they listening to us now or no?
Yeah, they're
okay. Yeah. You ever been to a movie theater when it's like, Old Ridge, and the one by the North Park, and you go to a horror movie and then black folks be up there be like telling the person to run the whole time, like run, get to the door. And you're like, bro, man, come on. And so that happens. It does. It's not racist to say that. It's just a fact. I mean, Man,
if talking about black folks being loud is what takes me down, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. It happens, and it's funny because that is a conversation I have with several of my black friends. I'm like, can you just tell me the secret behind this? What is this? Why in the theater? Generations of people are not going to be able to experience that because people stop going to the theater these days, because of streaming. Mm-hmm. So, but I guess let's change the dynamic on that. But
talking about that BLM thing, we kind of got off track there. The whole BLM deal. You're talking about wanting vigilante. Mm-hmm. We need some black vigilantes. I agree. And I mean, that's what I've been calling for, some good God-fearing black vigilantes to start cleaning their cities up. Start taking out the Dijonaises of the world. You know, time for Pookie to go. You know, you pull it to a gas station like that one of the video I put on Facebook the other day or on Instagram of all the little young black future rocket scientists and engineers out in front of that Texaco on North State Street.
I saw that with
with
those
their
guns
ARs and stuff and their face mask on. You know what? Little black Charles Bronson needs to take them all out.
Little black Charles Bronson. They won't know who Charles Bronson is, though. It's probably you know, I saw that video. I meant to text you, and I just forgot when I saw that a few days ago. Like, isn't JPD going out there and seeing that? I mean, do these kids need to have freaking machine gun? I know before anybody corrects me, I'm just calling it a machine gun. I don't know that it's a machine gun. Just like what appears to be a machine gun. How about that?
Yeah. The assault rifle.
Yeah, assault whatever.
They don't like that either.
I know. I'm not. Whatever it is.
AR don't stand for assault rifle.
It's a gun that looks like a machine gun, but whatever it is, I don't know how it shoots. Anyway,
load your clip up.
Yeah, they got a clip in it. Well, one of them looks like an AK-47. One kid looked like an AK-47. Yeah. Like anyway, I mean, can't the police just go by there and like say, "Hey guys, now you're arrested"? I do something about that.
Well, you know, what they're trying to do is they try to blame that on it being an open carry state.
Yeah,
like that's the mayor and them's agenda. They don't want guns, but they don't want to enforce the gun laws on the books,
right?
Because they want us to ban open carry. So be damned brandishing a firearm or anything else. How about we check some IDs?
Yeah, you know, I think
can we check to make sure they're at least 18?
I'll tell you this: there's a difference between Billy Bob, the redneck, with his sight gun on. Right? I'm just going to give you the talking about stereotypes.
Yeah,
and dude over there with a machine gun. Like, I'm just gonna, you know, I mean, I just think there's a difference between
We're coming back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB. The segment brought to you by our friends at Johnny's Pizza, located right out there in Gluckstadt, Mississippi, right in front of the Mack Hike family of dealerships, right over there by Rick's Pro Truck and all of that good stuff. Looking for a affordable lunch, affordable pizza for lunch? Man, we were just talking about, you know, $15 plate lunches and this, that, and the other, and how expensive lunches got. Well, man, if you were out in Gluckstadt and you were eating on a budget, let me recommend to you Johnny's Pizza. Got it right here. Man, you can get a lunch combo, an 8-inch one-topping pizza, and a drink for just $6.99. You can get an 8-inch specialty pizza. That means, you know, like a Supreme, you know, that kind of stuff, with a drink for only $9.49. I mean, that's loaded up. That includes their big Sweep the Kitchen, and that's everything on it. Hey, and we talk a lot about health and diet and stuff on the show. If you're trying to watch what you eat a little bit, cut back on the carbs, consider converting that pizza into a pizza bowl. So it's just a pizza without the crust. And boom, 0 carbs on all the rest of those toppings. And convert that drink to a water, and you're good to go. Try out Johnny's Pizza. They're in Gluckstadt today. They're based out of Louisiana, so they got a little Cajun flavor to everything, a little bit of slice of Louisiana life. That's Johnny's Pizza. Let's take a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, look, have you ever noticed any of these guys, thugs, I don't care if they're white, black, polka dot, or purple, when they get killed doing something, they were, you know, walking along, reading their Bible, headed to Sunday school class. You know, they Class A citizens, and then they go sue for $1 million, and it was a community service killing. I mean, any man, and I don't know about the people up in the north, but the people in the south, we're not going to put up with that kind of crap. I mean, I'm 75 years old. Somebody, you know, gets to hoorah and hurting people, and I'm on whatever public transit or in a public place, I'm going to jump out there and get in it. I mean, I'm stupid. I don't realize my brain had kicked in and said I'm that old yet. So, you know, his family will use this as a money-making opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're going to try to parlay this into him being a civil rights icon. He's the next George Floyd, what they want him to be. That's what they want. They want every black guy that gets killed at the hands of a Good Samaritan white guy or a cop to be the next George Floyd. They want statues. They want multi-state funerals. They want towns burned down. They want social justice, yada, yada. We've done it, man. We're done letting the black community take piece of crap thugs that were nothing but a drain on their community and turn them into martyrs because they effed around and found out. We ain't doing that anymore.
They're going to probably dust off Obama and bring him in and let him make a speech about how this could have been his son. You know, and I get so sick of it, I can't stand it.
Well, I think most people have. It's ran its course. America don't care no more.
And look,
nobody. Hold on. Let me finish real quick. Nobody had more political capital coming out of 2020 than black Democrats post George Floyd, and they have pissed every cent of it away.
Well, look, I lived through the 60s. I saw the civil rights movement. There were ladies and gentlemen marching for civil rights back then. All we got now is money grubbers that are using the thugs and the black folk living idiots. And they're using them. The people on the poor end of the stick aren't getting anything. These guys out, waving the flag and on the top of the heap are making money off of it. And it's, it's stupid.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll be the first in line with their march when a good kid gets killed by somebody.
Me and you.
I'll be there locked arm in arm with them when somebody who wasn't out there gangbanging, selling drugs, who truly didn't do nothing. Buddy, we got to go. Thank you, brother.
Okay.
All right. Sean, that's something. I mean that. I'm glad you brought that up. The first time will actually be the first time in a long time that an actual good kid gets killed by a bad cop or some racist redneck. That I'll be right down there with them, marching. Just be sure to let me know when that actually happens.
The Trayvon Martin. I would use that. That was years ago.
That was years ago.
Yeah, I'm talking about recently. I'm trying to think of an example, but
yeah, there's not one in the social media era because it doesn't happen. And I mean, look, say what you want about Trayvon. We just disagree on Trayvon. I mean, Trayvon was fighting the guy. I don't want to get into a Trayvon argument. Yeah. We just disagree on it. We're on different sides of that. But that's where that's where the Black Lives Matter movement was born, so to say.
I thought it was born from that one that was the guy that got killed, Michael Brown.
He was another idiot.
That we agree on Michael Brown, 100%. We agree on that one. But not true.
But that was hands up, don't shoot.
That's the one where it was kind of right. Yeah, the Ferguson.
Yeah, and look, the guy selling the cigarettes out in front of the store in New York in the front of the bodega.
I can't remember that guy's name, but
that
big, huge, heavyset guy.
Yeah, look, he did not deserve to die, and I don't think they intentionally killed him either.
No, it was just I think the headlock or something he did.
Yeah, I think that was an accidental thing there. But he also was breaking the law, selling cigarettes out in front of the store. I mean,
yeah,
should he die for that? No, absolutely not. Should George Floyd die for using a fake $20 bill? Absolutely not. But it's the escalation. It's the escalation of resisting and whatever else the hell happened after the whole conflict started is what led to their death. I mean, George Floyd swallowed it, just like the guy in Jackson with Anthony Fox, swallowed a bunch of dope and had a heart attack of sorts. One had a stroke. I'm just using a heart attack as a catch-all here.
I understand what you mean.
It's like that has to be taken into account on these things.
I think, there's a lot of circumstances dictate a lot of what went on in these things. A lot of time too, also, and this is one that's not said a lot, is non-compliance a lot.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, there's like situations where I think sometimes the cop could be maybe use excessive force or whatever, but if the person had just said, "Hey, here's my license," and just shut the hell up, you know what I mean? Yeah. And just done what everybody's like, instead of making a ruckus. I know that sounds bad, but it's just true. Like if you just comply and just say, I mean, I've never had a bad experience with the police. I've just never. And I know that is easy for me to say, but
All right, real quick. Yeah. Hey, you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, hey, it's Eric. Look,
I got a difference of opinion. Eric Garner is the fellow's name that got choked out of the bodega. And that right there was the government telling you, you better pay us our tax money. That man was killed for pennies. Same thing with George Floyd. George Floyd was in the back of the car with handcuffs on. They killed him in the street in front of cameras for a purpose.
No, he asked to get out of the cop car. He asked to get out of the cop car, or he got himself out.
You know, when do they ask? I asked a cop when I'm sitting in the back, can you let me out of the car? No, you're going to jail.
Well, I think he was having a medical emergency and they let him out. He was having a panic attack, freaking the hell out, and they let him out for some reason.
I saw him. He kneeled on that dude's throat like he was waiting on line at the bank. He murdered that man.
That ain't what killed him.
This is my idea. I think it was on purpose. This is my thing. These are the two things that launched everything. I got them all of the names. You got Anton Sterling, you got all of these, Mike Brown, all of them. And all of them deserved it except for Eric Garner and George Floyd. That's just my opinion. So.
George Floyd committed suicide. Appreciate you. All right, we got to go. Been a fun one. I'm trying to think if I got anything else for the radio, for the online audience before we get out of here. I'll take the headphones off so I don't have to hear myself there. Radio audience. I want to finish that up because I want people to go back and listen in here.
Yeah.
George Floyd swallowed a bunch of dope and got himself into a bad situation. And he started freaking out. And that video looks terrible, but it's one of the rare. Now, you've changed your mind on this slightly, haven't you? On the George Floyd thing?
I don't think my mind was any different from when it happened, actually. We didn't
but you went back and saw you watched that documentary.
I read the autopsy report initially. My biggest problem from that case from the get-go was there was two corresponding autopsies, one done by the state.
Huh?
Oh.
Oh, we're still live. Oh, we're still live. I'm sorry.
What ended?
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
My apologies. I got my time off there.
The last break automatically took, so you're going to have literally no time at the end. So I'm going to have to. I'll try to amend the schedule to take somebody out, so you might have 10 seconds. But
okay.
Like it hit the timeout.
Weird. Okay.
The button wasn't pressed. I think you said you were going to take a break, but
never hit resume.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're live.
Okay.
We're live. My apologies. I didn't hit a button. Well, sometimes your brain just gets scattered.
Yeah, I'm
doing
confused.
this. Well, look. So with that said, where were we at?
We're talking about George Floyd.
George Floyd.
I said no from the beginning when it happened. My issue with that whole case, well, several things, was the autopsies. The state did an autopsy, and if I remember, didn't conclude that the cause of death wasn't that he choked him out or suffocated him, whatever, asphyxiation, whatever you want to call it. It was a different conclusion. I think it was I think a cardiac arrest incident to police contact is what I remember the state's of Minnesota's pathologist. Now, then they went and hired Dr. Michael Bodden, who, look, Dr. Bodden's a genius, right? I mean, I'm into seminars where he's a feature speaker. He had that show Autopsy on HBO. Yeah. He did Medgar Evers, autopsy. But they paid him to come up with another autopsy. So then the state of Minnesota has two different autopsies. That was my problem. How do you, you don't like what one says, and you're the state, you're the prosecution, and you're like, well, we're going to go get Dr. Bodden to make sure we like it, and he's, his credentials are unimpeachable, right, pretty much. And so that was my problem with that. I said, why are you doing this? Because in no other case would you ever do something like that. I've never once had a case where I was like, okay, well, I don't like what this autopsy says, so I need to go get another one. I've never done that before. It's just the autopsy says what it says. Now, there may be some I've had where I've had to employ a forensic anthropologist, or I think it's called forensic anthropologist, to look at because the body was too decayed. So you had to go check out on the bones and those sorts of issues. But other than that, it's the pathologist says what they say, but you don't like what the result was, and it's your own pathologist. That bothered me from the beginning of that case.
Yeah.
Why that went down that way. And also, one thing, what's the Derek Chauvin? Sorry. Mm-hmm. Have you ever watched him in the courtroom? I did the guy was very respectful the entire time.
Yeah.
I just think, look, he was a guy, I don't think he meant to kill him, and I don't even know necessarily he was having a bad day. I mean, they stopped him. The guy was not being compliant. It is what it is. So, no, I've never really, my opinion on that, I've never been 30
seconds. All right, so it was Sorry, man. It takes one little thing to stay.
Yeah, no, it's cool, dude. Yeah.
Chauvin, I don't think he had the weight on the back of the neck that they claim he had the weight on. I think
not according to the first autopsy.
Yeah,
that's what I saw. So
it looks bad on tape. There, it ain't as bad as it looks.
Yeah,
he died because of what he shoved down his throat.
That's what that incident like to a police contact is what the first autopsy said. Basically, that kind of cardiac arrest or whatever he had. Yeah. So I mean, I'll look at that again, but that's what I remember for the first one. And then you bring Bodden to say that it was asphyxiation, which I don't know how that changes. And they wanted a result is my problem with it. And you're not supposed to do that when you're prosecuting somebody. You're not supposed to. The result is what you got, not what you don't look for a result or make one. Jody Owens is a good example of that.
Yeah.
They wanted a result in that case, and
it's like Angela just commented here. She goes, Chauvin is a dead man walking in prison. They are gunning for him, and they shouldn't be.
No, I mean, didn't he got attacked a few times, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to kill him. He's not going to survive. All right, look, we're done. Deep conversation. We can always the George Floyd conversation is always toxic, and we can go a million different directions with that because people have made their minds up on that. I've made my mind up, and all the evidence I've seen states that my opinion on that is right. Mistakes were made, I'm guessing, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. He shouldn't have swallowed all that dope.